Hi everyone, thanks for joining me here on Easy Vaping, where you get honest reviews. Today we're here to talk about the Vapor Flask with the SX Mini M Class chip. Pretty awesome device, vapes awesome, feels awesome, works awesome. Enough of that, let's get down and let's talk about it. Here we are, we have the outside of the package. Pretty basic. Side we have a Vapor Flask user manual, which is very vague and to be honest I think shit. Here we have a nice USB cable, very beefy, very thick, also extremely short, the shortest I've ever seen in my life. Then down here we have a certificate of authenticity. This is pretty heavy duty, guys. This is that's aluminum. They're no joke with this card right here. Now on to the good stuff. We have the Vapor Flask. So pretty basic as far as, you know, it's same size dimensions as all of your other Vapor Flasks. We'll do a quick side-by-side comparison. This is the original Vapor Flask with the DNA 40. Right up top, what are the differences we can see? I guess we could say we see that right up top here. This screen, this OLED screen, is recessed down in there, much smaller also than the SX screen. We can also see that right down in here we have this air channel. We no longer have this on the new one. Down here pretty much the same, except for this has a piece that's been put onto the bottom versus this is machined all the way down to the bottom. Charge ports, I guess, look reversed. This one doesn't say VF or Vapor Flask. Buttons appear to be the same, but I will tell you this one has a much clickier button than the original. Both clicky, but the new one is much clickier. Then up front, oh, there's a big difference. We had vertical positive and negative buttons here. Now we have them horizontal and kind of on a rocker versus separate. And down below we have gone from this appears to be brass to what seems to be stainless. And I've got some issues with this, and let me tell you why. So I will use a piece of paper to help demonstrate this because this will be hard to see on camera. Like I said, these old ones are brass, nice buttery smooth threads, very nice threads, not too fine. And let me make another point real quick while we're talking about threads. One of my favorite units to date is the SX Mini M Class. Now, this, these are extremely fine threads. There we can see them. Oh, we could see them for a second there. There we are. Extremely fine threads. Both. Much coarser threads. Now what is the benefit of the coarser ones? The benefit is they go on a lot easier without having to get, oh no, I'm crooked now and it won't go. Now it's going to cross thread and the issues with that. These go on a lot easier as far as not getting them to cross thread and just go on very smooth. But back on to why I brought you down here for the difference here. Now, like I said, everything's nice and smooth, smooth edges and everything. Nothing. Now here's this one. This one I feel like I could cut somebody's throat with it. Look at that. Look at this. This is off the side right here. This is like a razor blade. That's not really good. When you're talking you spent $270 on a device and you have sharp edges that you could slice and dice yourself with, that's unacceptable to me. Here I'll do another comparison for you. Down inside of the shafts, if anyone has had the previous one, you'd know that, well, it is a tight fit. Does anyone hear anything? No. Now we'll drop this one in, and oh yeah, nothing. Definitely a rattle. Now that's a good thing, guys, because we used to have issues with batteries getting stuck or not being able to use batteries in here. Now you see, this battery has this label on it. This one, the label's been removed. Just this label alone, I mean a hard stop from that label alone. That's how tight of a tolerance they used to have. So the tolerance is now a lot better. You don't have to worry about getting your battery stuck. Well, at least with any of the batteries I have, I don't have to worry about getting them stuck. So that's a huge benefit. You also want to make sure that when you're installing your batteries, that we install them positive side down. Both of them, positive side down. You want these negative sides up. Let's take this thing for a vape. Here's another thing I wanted to show you quick. Right down here you can see these buttons. Now, do you see that on the negative side it sticks up a little higher? There's the negative side and the positive side. That the negative side sticks up a little higher than the positive side. And even in the feel of it, the negative definitely feels a lot clickier and more typical of a button than the positive. Another downside I'm going to have to say real quick on the close-up is that on the original I had no problem getting these to line up. On the new one, that's the best I can do without reefing them tight to where I feel like I'm smashing the batteries into the unit. Alright, so with all that said, let's jump up top and talk about it a bit. Alright, now that we had a closer look, let's talk about some positive and negatives. The negatives I'm going to start out with here. Negative number one is something I actually forgot to mention in the close-ups, which would be this OLED screen up top here. If you guys can see this as I rock it back and forth, it actually doesn't sit level in there. It sits higher on this end than it does on this end. So when they put it together, they didn't even put it together right. So negative number one. Negative number two, we have these battery doors that I feel like could cut you so bad that you might need to see a doctor because of. Not so good. We have that, hey, they used to line up like this, the slots, and they don't line up anymore. Nor do they sit flush unless I'm willing to just reef these tight. And obviously I'm not willing to do that. Some things that just should not have gone out the door on a $270 device. Let's face it, we all work hard for our money. And when we're spending $270 on a vaping mod, we expect to get the best of the best. I mean, for $270, this thing should be showing all the rest of my devices up, quality-wise. And to be honest, it's one of my most disappointing ones out there. I have $50 devices that seem like they had more care put into them than this. I don't know if their quality control person was drunk that day, if he didn't care that day. I don't know, but that shouldn't be my problem as the end user. Not at all. So overall, I am not happy about this mod. I think that there are issues with this that should have been addressed before it left. Now, I've checked on other videos to see if anyone else had these issues, and it appears that I'm one of the only ones saying anything like this. So could this be I had the bad apple that day? Yeah, that always happens. I mean, there's always the bad apple somewhere. I would hope that Vapor Flask will get a hold of me and give me some updates as to why this may have happened and what they're going to do to make sure that this doesn't happen in the future. And if they do, I will update you guys. We have that these positive and negative buttons, they don't sit even. The negative sits higher than the positive. The negative feels typical, clicky, and the positive feels smushy and just not very good. Some things that I can't believe once again that this made it out the door with having these issues. Now let's go on to some positives. This thing looks great. I mean, just beautiful mod. It feels great in your hand. I mean, just, everything feels so natural about this. The firing button, really nice clicky firing button. Just really solid feeling. When you put it in your pocket, don't forget to lock it 3 times before you do that. It just contours to your leg really well. That's a positive. We have the dual batteries in parallel, so you get excellent battery life. We have onboard charging. It runs the SX350J chip, which is still, in my opinion, one of the best chips on the market. A lot of positive things about this, but just some funny, at least in my device, some bad quality control issues that I hope nobody else is having. And so far that I've seen, it doesn't seem like it. This is seeming like I just got the bad apple, and I really hope so. Otherwise, performance. Just talk about performance. Said all the aesthetics and everything. The negatives about all of these little things. Does it work? Yes. Does it work well? Yes. This thing works very well. Where it's not going to work so well for some people is if you like to run temperature control like I do, above 100 watts. This goes to 75 joules, which doesn't cut it in some of my builds. Will it fire them? Yeah. Is it pretty weak? Yeah. Just doesn't have that punch in temp control. This is not your crazy powerful mod for temp control. There's other ones that can do that for much cheaper than this. This is an overall just a really nice unit. Great battery life. Like I said, looks great, feels great. Oh, I almost forgot to mention, I got to give this props to Aaron down at Low Light Vapor and Andy down at Low Light Vapor specifically for letting me use this and for the purpose of this review. This is not something that I'm sure was easy to let out of his hands for a couple of weeks, and thanks, Andy. Now, if I had to say, once I give this back, do I feel like I need to run out and get another one? With the issues that this has right now? Hell no. The issues that this has, in my opinion, are bullshit and unacceptable. And I'm very disappointed. So if and when Vapor Flask lets me know what's going on, why this could have happened, and what they're going to do for us in the future as customers to make sure this doesn't happen again, I'll let you know. But in the meantime, unless you're someone that doesn't mind these issues, I would stay away from this. Plain and simple. Well, anyway, thanks for watching. Eric on Easy Vaping. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time.